Hi everyone, today I want to share a series of cards that I made with the Forever Fern stamp set. This is a new stamp set that's premiering in the new 2020 annual catalog that starts on June 3rd. Now it's a real simple stamp set in that it's a lot of different greenery leaves and some nice sayings, and I think it's really great to add to your collection. It's got a nice love and laughter forever after, which would be great for weddings. You can do this, maybe a promotion or something like that. Hello, and to a friend that makes me smile. It's really an all occasion stamp set, and it's one of the distinctive stamp sets. And what that means is that it's a stamp image that's got a lot of detail in it, and it has, you've got highs and lows in the stamp itself, very deeply etched and very small pinpointy little dots. So you've got this really beautiful look at the end of it. You've got, here I'm going to show you a stamped image. See how I've got light and dark places in this pear pizzazz, and normally you used to have to achieve that by layering your stamps. So you can have some lights and then stamping on top of it to get the darks. But the way the rubber is etched on this, or the photopolymer too, you've got both highs and lows on the same stamp. So it's got this beautiful look with different tones in your coloring. Isn't that pretty? So anyway, that's what a distinctive stamp is, and I'm using the Forever Fern, and I wanted to show how you can use this stamp to make something really simple and also more elaborate with the same layout and everything. So I'm starting with this one. This is my simple, and here you can see that I used no dies and no embellishments. This is for when you need a really quick card. Maybe you need to mass produce and you don't want it to be too expensive, or you want it to be something you can mass produce quickly. This is perfect for that. Also, it's flat, so it's going to be really easy to mail. So this is the simple version, and then here I stepped it up a little bit by adding dies and some of the ribbon from the collection. And I've popped some things up on dimensionals, so you've got some different height and some sparkle. Now here I've added even more by adding some of this gold laser cut greenery here and some nice little gems, and I've really kind of pushed the sparkle on this one. So you can take it from simple to more elaborate and using the same template. So let's start out with that template. I'm using a card base in Pretty Peacock, and then I've also cut a strip of Pretty Peacock that is 4 inches by 1 inch. I've also cut for this card 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, one for the outside and one for the inside, and they're the same size. They're both 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to start by stamping my largest image in Pear Pizzazz. There's those highs and lows I was talking about. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful stamp. And then I'm going to add some smaller greenery. I'm going to add one kind of going off to the side, and then I'm going to add one underneath. Now the stamp set also has this little what do you call that, speckles, splatter. I'm going to add a little bit of that, and I'm not re-inking each time. I'm going to let the ink get lighter and lighter, so I have some dark, some light, just like I do in my stamped image. Okay, next I'm going to go with another color, and I'm going to choose the Pretty Peacock to bring out that card base. And I'm going to choose a larger of the stamps. Now the set is called Forever Fern, and I don't see a fern in the stamps. But you know, I don't know my plants very well, so it could be that something here is fern-like and I just don't know, or it doesn't really matter. It's very pretty, and I guess it doesn't matter if there's a fern. Now there's the matching paper collection, and that has a fern, and it's beautiful. Okay, so I've got my darker Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to do the same with the speckle on that. I'm going to add some Pretty Peacock speckle, but I'm not going to ink it up again. Oops, I did ink it up again. That's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of that up the top. There. Next, I'm going to grab my Pretty Peacock strip here and lay it right on top. And you can kind of move this a little bit depending upon, you know, I want to cover up this stem area, so I'm going to put it right there. Okay. And now I'm just going to layer it right onto my card base. Now I already did the inside, very similar to the outside, except I didn't want my stems to overlap, so they go off the page, and then you can write over here. I might have went a little too far. Maybe I should have went a little more to the left so there's more space to write, but that's okay. You can decide how much you want to write and how much you want to fill your card. So then this Whisper White just goes right on top. And that was so simple. I'm going to add my greeting. I've already stamped my greeting. Now on the sample cards I showed you at the beginning, I used "You Can Do This." You can also choose to use something else from the stamp set. I actually need a lot of thank you cards at this time of year because the new catalog's coming out and I'm having a new catalog kickoff and hope to have some sales. I like to send hand stamp thank you cards right away. So I want to have some thank you cards on hand. So I'm switching up my sentiment on these and making thank yous. And this thank you here is from the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. I like to use all one stamp set, especially when I'm doing a video, but I really do need thank you cards. So that is my simple. It's still pretty. You've got this really beautiful stamp. That distinctive stamps are always lovely, and this is the simple. Now, how can we dress this up? Very simply. So I've already done some of it so that you don't have to start all over again. So I started with my background just like I did on this one, but this time instead of using a stamped image, we're going to use a die cut image, which I've already cut out. And we're going to add this die cut. And I'm using these little mini dimensionals to pop it up. Oh, first I wanted to use that ribbon. I already forgot. So I wanted to layer down some of this ribbon. This is from the same suite of products. There's two ribbons. They come in a bundle. And one is this really soft, I don't know how to describe it really. It's kind of like cheesecloth ribbon. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that's what it's reminding me of. Anyway, it's really soft and it ties a really nice bow and really flat, and it comes bundled with this gold, so it's really pretty soft looking. And so I'm using that. I'm just using the gold one though. So how I put this down is I like to give myself a little gob of adhesive, and I just kind of lay it down every once in a while, pressing it to the adhesive. There we go. Make sure that's pressed down good. And then my other embellishment is going to go on top, which is going to even further hold it in place. Alright, so now I've got this greenery here, which I don't know what it is. And I'm going to put that down. Oh, I forgot to add my pretty peacock splatter. And then I want a little bit of greenery coming down, so I'm going to add this one. And one more. This is it looks like eucalyptus. And then we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to put that little band of pretty peacock down. And I'm going to add it to my card base. I've already done the inside on that one as well. And then I just need to add my greeting. And again, I'm going to use my thanks a bunch, as I have explained why. So to cut a little notch in it, I like to go up the center and then meet that center from both sides. There's lots of ways that you can flag this. There's actually a punch for it, which is smart because then it's perfect every time, whereas this is not. Let's get the punch. It's so funny, usually I can just flag this end in my sleep, but when you're trying to do a video, it doesn't always work out that well. See how perfect that is? This is the triple banner punch. Smart thing to have on hand, makes different sizes. All right, there's my stepped up just a little bit. Now let's step it up a lot. Once again, I've got my card base, and I'm going to add my pretty peacock splatter. And this time I'm going to add some of this gold laser cut greenery. Let me find the one I wanted to use. These are gorgeous. This one's a little too big for what I'm looking for, and I've used a whole bunch of them on some other cards. I think I want to go with this one. This is beautiful gold laser cut foil shapes. Just beautiful. And you get many sheets of that pattern with the flowers on it, but then you also get these base pieces. And I have a video coming up where I'm going to be using these, and they're just beautiful. You're going to want these. Okay, so here is this one. Look how pretty that is. It's just so delicate and beautiful. So I'm going to put that down by kind of making a little strip here. It's so lacy and delicate, but I'm going to lay it down just touching the stem to the bottom, and it's okay, it's going to stay in place because, let me cut the little end off a little bit, because this is going to go on top, so it's going to even further hold it down. I don't want to cover it too much, so I'm going to try to decide how far over I want it. Here I'm going to add this little guy. And again, I'm going to use a pretty peacock band, which I already cut and can't find. Here it is. But this time I'm going to wrap that gold ribbon around the band here. So to do that, I'm going to put some adhesive down on the band, the little band here, and wrap it around twice. Nice and straight. I'm going to add more adhesive on top just to make sure it stays down and doesn't move around. And now I want this layer to be even more embellished, so I'm going to pop it up a bit on dimensionals. Okay, and then I wanted to further embellish this with a little sparkle by adding some little gems. They're called the flowers for every season. So they're not part of the Forever Fern or the Forever Greenery suite. They're part of the Flowers for Every Season suite, but I think that they still are nice. They're just, there's a couple that are iridescent, and that's the ones I'm going to pick out. And then there are some that are just clear. And those are the two that I'm focusing on. There's also kind of a misty green one. That's pretty. Okay, now how I'm going to put these down is with just a tiny little drop of liquid glue, just a dot. I'm going to want a bigger one. Time for the take your pick tool. See, I think I'm going to go fast and not get out tools. It's so much easier when you do. There you go. So there it is with a little more sparkle. Hope you can see the sparkle on video. Sometimes that's hard to convey. So here we go from simple stamping, and it's still pretty and fun, and we've got beautiful greenery on here. Step it up a little bit if you have dies and you have a die machine. You can add a little bit more texture and depth on it, and then step it up a lot with some of this laser cut greenery and these little sparkles. So I hope you like the 3 varieties, and be sure to check back. I'm gonna do a whole series of stuff with this set coming up. I made just an entire, I spent the whole day with this set, and it's just a beautiful paper collection, everything. And I'm having a new catalog kickoff at my Facebook page on June 6th. If you want to check that out, I'm going to have just a whole bunch of stuff throughout the entire day. Beth's Paper Cuts on Facebook, so you can check that out. And I'm going to have some product demonstrations. I'm going to pop in live a few times throughout the day and do some different things. So check it out, join that page or like that page so that you'll be notified when that begins. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.